Hello, welcome back to the podcast. This is Aaron LeBauer, your host of the CashPT Lunch Hour. Today, we have a special episode for you. This is an episode on objections, and it's an objection training and masterclass that I did for our employees here at LeBauer Physical Therapy. And it's in so much depth and detail that we've decided to split it up into two parts. So today is part one, and here's what this is going to do for you. So Tyler, my CashPT resident, has been working here for almost a year, and he came to me and said, Aaron, I'm struggling with the free total body diagnostics, with the free consultations. I think we're closing about 43% of them, and I don't know what happened. Something happened over the last 4 or 5 months, and so what we did was we did this training together, and then immediately that week, instead of being 40%, he was 7 for 7. And then I think in the next week, he got 1 of 3. So we went from 43% close rate to 90% close rate. And the important thing I want you to listen for, it's not just what Tyler was doing, and it's not just what Amber was doing. There's a lot of language and training that is hopefully going to benefit you a ton. So part 1 is now. You're going to have to tune in to part 2 next time. And if this episode and the next episode help you in any way, please let me know about it, or please tell us by leaving a rating and review on the podcast or sharing with it online and tagging us. Thanks so much, and I hope you get a lot out of this episode. What we're going to do is go through all the objections that we're getting. And I want to go through also we're objections, and we're going to talk about how we meet them. We're going to do a little role playing maybe, and we're going to do some, and we also got to go figure out where in the funnel is the breakdown. Okay, so there's a breakdown somewhere. So, did you get list? Do you have numbers from the last few weeks?
The top portion is just like individual, and then the bottom portion is.
Okay, so since December 3rd. So explain what is known as
Yeah, so I went through and I found everybody on that list are most of the people. I think I left one out, but most of the people that didn't convert. I was just the number lineup there. I was just going week by week so I could see who we kept, who we didn't, and I even
no's are people that said no.
No's are those are the people that emailed back, hey, I can't do it anymore. But there are also a couple people in there, at least 2, that converted to evals and paid, but still didn't come back in.
So explain that again. Sorry, so no's are people that.
Those are just people we don't have anymore.
Oh, but they may have come in once or twice.
Only once.
Only once, minimum once. And yeses are people.
I don't think there's anybody that's been in more than once and then dropped off.
Okay. Yeah. So it's so is that first appointment, are they paying for the eval the same day as the TBD? And then they're saying no?
So one guy said he was going to run it through his insurance first and see what happened. And I've not heard from him. I emailed him to see what was up. And then the other guy.
Or is that someone else?
No, I actually emailed. But it's on there. And then the other guy who's not on there just kind of ghosted. And you can't even get in contact with this guy. You have to talk to his
secretary.
Yeah, that guy that doesn't do any of his own stuff. So I kind of got the impression that he was in there for a quick fix on day 1, so it wasn't really any skin off my back.
Yeah.
But the number 13 out of 29 is how many have converted, and then in that little box at the bottom.
So we're 45% of all the TBDs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Since December 3rd.
But back in July, August, we were 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Were we doing more TBDs then, or are we doing more now?
I didn't look, but I would guess that we're doing a lot more now.
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot more now.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, your schedule's still pretty full.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah.
This week is a down week, but I was actually looking at it at the end of last week, and I was like, if we keep this pace, we're gonna break that August record of
for this month
reimbursement revenue. Yeah.
We also had 10 cancellations last week. on top of the
For what? For any?
just
And that wasn't any of these people.
Well,
that was
so 4.
Words.
So that's a big chunk.
Yeah, that is a big chunk.
And then
600.
yeah, I mean, so there's probably, and then 2 of the evals had scheduled within the same week, so there's another 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, but I'm gonna come sit with you.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna run you down the list real quick, just for yourself. I saw her yesterday. She is the first person that's ever straight up told me, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I think I asked her after a series of questions.
So for a tell her what kind of
Discovery, yeah.
Discovery.
All of these are discoveries
Okay.
except for it was a discovery, but I converted.
Okay.
But she was just straight up, it's too expensive. But I even asked her after asking her some questions for a little while, I was like, well, what would work for you? And she said, I don't know, maybe like $100. And I was like, well, we have payment plans that break it down to that. She's just like, it's just too rich for my blood right now. I wasn't expecting it to be that much. I'm gonna have to, I'll just try to hope that I think she said something weird that made me think that she wasn't gonna follow up on. I was like, okay, well, at the very least, please don't do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm writing a book right now on hip pain. I'm gonna send that to you as soon as it's done. Secondly, I'm gonna give you the information for, I think I gave her Greensboro with it, or it was Piedmont, one of the 2 mills, and I was like, I want you to go there and set up an appointment. I'm gonna call her in 3 weeks. Of the people on this list, she's one of the ones where I'm fairly confident I can get back, unless she just goes and meets somebody that magically actually cares and pays attention to her. So, that's one.
Mm-hmm.
He was in
the former patient.
and he was like, his first question to me was, do y'all take insurance yet? And I was like, oh, this is not gonna be awesome.
Right.
Because that was before I even told him that we had raised our prices. And
but he's been 6 years or something since he was a patient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, you were coming in when it was super different from what it is now.
Right.
But he was on board, and then said, after considering my options, y'all's inability to run insurance and having to pay the amount is just something I'm uncomfortable with. So I emailed him yesterday and said, hey man, I noticed you weren't on the schedule. I was worried about you. What's going on? And he just emailed me a forwarded or attached message that he sent to Amber. Like didn't say anything directly to me. It just repeated what he said to her, and I responded to that. So
which is your inability to take insurance.
Yeah, it was that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I responded to that. We'll see what comes of it, but he seemed on board with everything I was saying. Was like nodding his head and going, "Yep, that sounds great. Makes a lot of sense. Let's do it." And we even ran his card, or we're going to. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but he sat there and scheduled like 3 or 4 appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So
after you talked about price, he schedules 3 or 4 appointments.
yeah.
I showed him the payment plan menu as well, and we went over it together in person, and he sounded completely on board. And I said, would you like me to send you a follow-up email so you can have time to mull things over? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And then it was just like, yeah.
Okay.
So there was no way she was gonna come see us at all. Even if she had to pay a copay, I think she would have said no. That just wasn't gonna happen.
I mean, you still have a copay with Medicare.
That's what I'm saying. No, I think it's free.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah, I think it's free.
Okay. So did you guys send her to John or something like that?
I don't remember who we sent her to. John or
I think we ended up just sending her to Greensboro PT or
she was. Remind me to get John's ideal patient from you.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of, I didn't want to put her on him because she was a little bit.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all these stars mean that they should be our patient or were our patient. The rest of them, skeptical on.
Okay.
But
the guy just said, I just spent this money on unsuccessful chiropractic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've talked to him to try and set up a phone time.
Yeah, he's unsure. Basically, he's unsure it's going to work for him this time.
He responded to me. I sent him the ebook for free.
We should mail him a physical copy.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like that's the kind of person like, we know you're our person. Here's a physical copy. So we'll go back. Well,
Yeah.
come back.
Okay.
Yes.
She was younger,
Like 30s,
like
college age?
32-ish. Was a vet tech or something like a lab tech. Yeah. Mentioned at some point that I think she like lives at home with her. Anyways, she, from my memory, said it was too expensive without insurance. Right? That's what she wrote. Yeah, she's another one that scheduled an appointment and then was just gone.
So she's scheduled.
Both of these guys, actually, all of these guys scheduled. She was the first one that just was like, nope. But both of these guys scheduled out.
And even when I'm going over the payment plans with them in person, and I reiterate and I say, you know, what it says on this menu, this is just like our basic, most used, you know, payment plan options. But I said, if this doesn't work for you, we are flexible. I was like, so we can work something out. And they're like, great. You know, because even if, you know, $100 is too much, but they still wanted to be our patient, like I feel like we could wiggle a little bit.
Okay, fair enough.
She was youngish, like 20.
Yeah, she's a student.
And basically her mom was bankrolling, and she said, like, I doubt even because we gave her like a 20-week payment plan option too, and she was like, no, I can't do it.
Did we get on the phone with her mom?
Well, I told her before she even came in, because I could tell by her voice that she was really young. And I just said, you know, I explained to her, you know, how much it costs, and I was like, you know, is that going to be okay? And she's like, yeah. She made it sound like not a problem at all. And I think she was just like over her head. And when she came in, and then she still seemed like not a problem. But then, you know, I made her write down her mom's info, and then, you know, explained with her mom, and it was just not.
You talked to her mom actually?
I did not speak with her. I couldn't get a hold of her, but she ended up emailing me and like CCing her daughter on it, and was like, we can't do this. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so.
And I offered to get on the phone with her, and she acted kind of.
Right. I kind of want to go. I want to go through them and then come back and respond. But part of that is, you know, it's like, well, Mom Jones, you know, before, you know, you decide whether you can or can't do this. Is it okay if we talk on the phone and, you know, like, because what her experience of physical therapy might be, you know, a PT mill, and she's like, hell no, hell no, I'm not doing that. But it's, yeah, you like that? Well, people send it to us. I didn't get them. Okay. You know, it's like it's promo company sends it to you. Man, I got plenty. Okay. So let's go through them, and then let's try to come back through and talk through the comments.
Here was just screaming your face pelvic floor. Like I could not have been more positive. So I sent her to Wilda, and I expect her actually to be back unless Wilda makes her completely better. If she does, great. You know,
did we call Wilda and let her know?
That's
fine. Or someone.
I've actually tried to. Did we?
No.
Okay, because I tried to call her. I can't really get her during work hours, so I'm gonna try today after work or during lunch if I can.
So that's like, call Wilda.
And
if you need her number, I'll get it. Just, hey, Wilda, we're sending it. Like, so when we're sending someone to John or Wilda or someone, it's like, hey, we're sending a patient over to you. Because if the patient doesn't go, it's like, hey, we've sent, at least we're getting in like, hey, we've sent someone to you. I just want to give you a heads up that, you know, Dr. Shelton saw this person, knew this is a primary pelvic floor issue, maybe a couple other things going on, but we need them to see you first. Their name is, you know.
I normally do that. I do that with John, I do that with Derek, but I just didn't have her info.
Yeah, who, Wilda's info or this patient's info?
Wilda. I don't have her, like.
Oh, it's on my phone. Write it down and ask me for it. I'll get you Wilda's info.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a patient from Durham that saw Derek, like was a previous patient, saw Derek. Amber was like, hey, just by the way, Derek's in Durham. She was like, no, I want to see you guys. Came in, and I was like, hey, you know Derek's in Durham, right? She's like, he is? That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to go see him. And I was like, yeah, it's okay.
Because she came here for the 5 o'clock appointment. She was like, that commute was horrendous. And I was like, I was trying to save you the commute, but her boyfriend lives here, so she's here every other weekend. So she kind of wanted to like.
The woman. Her
woman.
Okay, so there's a different couple where the woman lives in there.
So she wanted to, you know, get treatment here. But then when Dr. Shelton told her that he was there,
I was like, hey, you know, I can treat you today if you want me to, but by no means am I trying to push you away. But Derek is in Durham. She's like, yeah, that would be great. Let's treat today, and then I'll just go to Durham. So I was like, Cool.
Okay, so who was that?
I didn't put her on here.
Okay.
Okay, so we hit her. So she was a 22-year-old, just had surgery and sat on her broken ankle for like 6 months. They had met their deductible. Her and her husband wanted to use something in network because it was going to be for free.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I mean,
And they really liked us too.
yeah, okay.
They both came in as a couple to do it together. He like scheduled her appointment
Okay.
for her.
So that's
They were very
a
on
follow
board.
up with them in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
if they're not, are you getting PT?
Yeah, they're not happy.
No, we haven't gotten it yet. All right, well, let's get you, come on,
Yeah.
let's get you in. If they're unhappy with your level of service,
Yeah.
well, you know, we're here for you. Like, yes, I understand you want your deductible, but it's like, if they're like, they were both great and everything, follow up with them every week, make
Mhm.
sure they're getting exactly what she needs.
Okay.
You know, no matter what, hey, can we send you our t-shirt? If this is someone we want now, you know, like, they need to come back next year. You know, when they haven't met their deductible, it's a problem. If we go above
It's gonna
and
be a problem for her. She jumped off a rope swing and had to have emergency like reconstructive ankle surgery.
so if she's going somewhere in network, this problem is likely not going away.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that they come to see us in 2020.
And I kind of
That's
put,
long term. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
we gotta send her some stickers, a T-shirt, you know, one of our books or something.
Okay.
Like that.
and I kind of put a little comment in there because her
Yeah.
husband's in nursing school and it seems like he's tries to be as on top of things as he can in terms of her medical care. And
Yeah.
I was like, make sure they're doing this, not a certain technique, but I was like, make sure that they're retraining you with your foot on the ground. If you see somebody pull out some bands and start wiggling you back and forth and doing all that, ask questions, make sure you're getting what you need because
Yeah.
that ankle's not going to recover the way that it should and then it's going to be a problem forever. So, you know, maybe I agree, if they're upset, then they won't be.
Yeah.
This guy is training for a triathlon and his hip was hurting. It was pretty classic. Well, anyways, I treated him. I rolled him into a treatment. And he seemed pretty on board, and then he was, I'm going to run it through my insurance and see what happens. And then he is just
So
straight up.
I'm gonna run through my insurance and see what happens. Like, I'm gonna go to an insurance-based clinic, or I'm gonna run this visit through my insurance and see what happens before I continue.
To see what's covered.
Okay. How much and Mr. Jones, how much longer are you willing to wait? Like, I've trained for a triathlon. Like, well, how important is this triathlon?
Yeah. And it would be great to ask those questions, but he has just
He's goes
dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. 'Cause
So remember, so those questions need to be hit before he's out that first day. It's
But
like,
if I think he's on board, do I need?
right, you think he's on board, but you need to dig. No matter what, like, he's on board. So here's like this is, and we're only halfway through, but here's the pattern. It's like, yes, they're on board, but what we need to do is we're not getting to their why. It's probably where these people aren't willing to give it up as easy, but we got to get down to stage. So tell me about the triathlon. How long have you been training for this triathlon? Like this one, to me, this is easy. It's like, how long have you been training for this? 8 months. Okay, Mr. Drew, when did you start training for triathlons? Why is it so important that you do really well at this upcoming triathlon? Oh, it's just because I've always wanted to push my body. Okay, well, why is pushing your body something that you're willing to make sacrifices for? So it's like, how much, on a scale of 0 to 10, how committed are you to doing everything in your power to make sure that you get the best result in this triathlon? I'm a 10. Okay, Mr. Jones, you just told me you were a 10 and able to do everything that was possible.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's like, what I'm saying is, like, I think they're saying they're on board, but what they're really doing is they just don't want to tell you no to your face.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this the other day. It's setting up this call, and basically, we're gonna go through the rest, but it's just like you get this point where it's like, okay, here's a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the commonality? And it's okay. Let's pre-frame what this discussion is going to be like. And it's almost one of those ones where at the beginning we got to look at these and say, okay, this is what, Mr. Jones, you're here for a total body diagnostic, free discovery, whatever. We've got about 20 minutes. This is how it's going to go. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to take you through a full body movement exam, and I'm going to give you my recommendation, and based on how we get along, we'll decide whether to move forward. Sound good? Great. Okay, Mr. Jones, there's two ways. There's really three answers you can give me at the end of our session. Yes, let's do physical therapy, and then at that point we can just turn this into an eval. I can start treating you today, get you home with some results. The other option is no. Like, no, this doesn't sound like it works for me. Okay, great. And that's totally fine. I get it, and that's what this is about, to help you make a decision about what to do. The third option is I need to think about it, or I need to see if my insurance is going to pay. And usually when people say that, what they really mean is no. They just don't want to hurt my feelings. But, Mr. Jones, I'm busy. Like, I got 24 more patients. I got 25 more patients this week. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you say no. Yeah. It may be, if you're a yes, great. If you're I need to bring my spouse in and meet with you one more time, like, let's do one more free meeting. That's a more of a yes. And I need to bring the other people in on my team. But it just promised me one thing. At the end of this, you'll give me either a yes or a no, because pretty much every time someone says, I need to see if my insurance works, is going to do it, or I need to think about it, what they really mean is no. And I just don't want to waste your time or mine. Does that sound fair enough? Because it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
You won't hurt my feelings. Fair enough? And then we'll get more no's rather than ghosting and I need to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what that does is that sets up the expectation a little bit. And then there's a piece on your end that I think we'll work on in a minute too, is how do we set people up so that they're coming in, because we can look at these people and say, these people might be different than everyone in August, based on the way you're getting more comfortable and doing some things. And I think in some of the conversations I've listened to from you, it's like, okay, maybe, there's another piece of that, but it's, can we frame it so that, look, we're going to talk for 20 minutes. I'm going to take you through a full body thing, and then I'll give you my recommendation. And once I give you a recommendation, if you feel like we're a good fit, like, we're going to turn this into an eval, but you're going to, tell me yes or no. And then, if it's, I need to think about it, or you're just hesitant, like, I know some people are hesitant to commit, like, just let me know. If you're hesitant to commit, it's a no, not right now, but if you need some more time to think about if we're the right fit, just say no, not right now, but can I come in for another, discovery visit next week with my other spouse, or, tell me, like, I need to know. It's more of like a, people come in and they say no, it's because we haven't answered the right question. And I'm going to do my best to ask you the right questions, but people who, it's kind of like people who say yes, know we can help them, and know that, and understand how we're different than everyone else and how we're right for them, okay? And we're not right for everybody. But if you're still uncertain about what you need to do and where you need to go, it's likely that I haven't asked you the right question. You can, like, you're predicting that if they say no, it's because I haven't asked you the right question. So then what happens is you say, then it's, all right, Mr. Jones, what question can I answer for you today that would help you feel confident that working together with us is the right decision? So it's like I pre-framed all this stuff. And then I tell them what the possible answers are going to be, because now that we've got this, we know. It's like, you know what? I know, like, people who say it's too expensive, it's not too expensive. I know it's expensive.
Yeah.
But but we help people.
It's an investment.
But it's an investment. But it's what's a couple $1,000s when your option is getting no results for 6 months, going and getting a surgery, getting an infection, getting no better, even dying on in surgery, going to get an MRI that costs more and scares you and gives you no results. Like, we get it, it's expensive, it's an investment. And we know we help people. We help people all the time who've been other places and have got no results. People come back to us after 6 months or years saying, I should have come to see you first. I don't want that to be you. I want to make sure you get what you need now. So, let's figure out what it is that you want, and I'll tell you if I can help you get that. Okay, what do you really want to have happen? Like, I know it's your shoulder that hurts. So what's that keeping you from? You know what I mean? So now I've gone and I've set up how this conversation is going to go, what some of these possible answers are. I've already predicted the possible like objections.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, I know some people say it's too expensive, but when people think it's too expensive, what they really mean is they don't think it's going to work for them. Okay, because if you knew it was going to work for them, this chiropractor guy, if he knew it was going to work for him, he'd pay. He was just let down before. So it's acknowledging, it's part of that is acknowledging that you've been let down, that you're uncertain it's going to work. And look, Ms. Jones, I can't act. You know, there's not a magic pill. You know, if there was if the room in the back had a switch with your name on it, and all I do is flip it, I'd go do that, and I'd charge you, $50, and we'd be done. But I can't do that. I don't have that switch. Mm-hmm. But I know that, you see all of our testimonials. We've got 55 5-star reviews. We've got hundreds of testimonials, thousands of patients who've been through here after they've been somewhere else and got better after coming to see us. Like, we can't help everybody, but that's why we send some people out to Wilda, some people to Dr. Rigby, some people to here, etc. And it's like, so what I'm doing is, from my experience, you've now done more of these than I have. Mm-hmm. You've done more of these calls than I have. So now it's from your experience, can you start predicting to people, this is how you're gonna feel. And if you feel this or think this, we know that we're missing the mark. So we'll take responsibility for missing the mark. Some people can't afford it. Some people don't have money in the bank. But that's maybe 2 people on here. Okay? We know it's expensive. We don't have to explain it to them, but we know the dentist is also expensive. People don't see yet. So our conversation can't be about the physical therapy. It's got to be about what is it that they really want. And if we're not finding that out, then it's too expensive. So for the triathlon guy, what is it they really want? So it's not to complete the triathlon. And this guy has I guarantee he's got $5,000 in equipment. He's got at least $500 invested in this, the triathlon. If he doesn't have a coach coaching him on training, he's wasting his time. If he does have a coach, he needs to have a physical coach, a body coach, a physical therapist, who's only gonna, working with us is less than a wheel set. It's less than an Aero wheel set. What's gonna make you faster? A $5,000 carbon wheels? Or being more comfortable on your bike? Because I know being more comfortable on your bike is gonna make you much faster. So we didn't find out, like for him, my experience at racing bikes, like that helps me understand, like I know where he is at. Some of these other people, it's a mystery. It's like the chiropractor, the guy said, well, he's already done $2,000 in chiropractic. Like, do we know what it is like that's driving him to seek, and what is he missing out on? Like, if we know that thing, and we put it in their face, and they're not willing to acknowledge what they're missing out on, then that's on them. But we have to find out what that thing is.
He even admitted to me over the phone. He was like, I'm 30 years old and I can't even bend over to tie my shoe without discomfort. And I was just like, yeah, that's like no way to live. I was like, I'm 32, and I was like, and that you can't live like that. And he also kind of confided in Tyler that he's like maybe planning on having a baby this next year. And it's like, well, if you can't bend over to tie your shoe, how do you think you're going to bend over and play with your child or bend over the crib and pick up your newborn? Like,
how much longer is he willing to wait? Right. So here is like, it's like how much longer are you willing to stay exactly where you are? Or even with if I'm talking about your business, like your business isn't going to grow, but if I'm talking about your body, it's like how much longer are you willing to stay where you are, or even let it get worse? How much longer are you willing to tolerate this getting worse? It's like that maybe like this other direction that like I like to keep it positive and keep it But sometimes we got to go down and find out, like, what is, we have to dig a little bit. Like, well, what are you afraid of happening if you don't do anything about this problem? And it's like, oh, it's getting worse. And you know,
What if it, you know, hypothetically, you check back up on this patient and, you know, and then he says, you know, like, how are you doing? Like, have you found someone to help you? And he's like, yeah, actually, I ended up going somewhere in network and, you know, it seems to be doing okay.
Seems to be doing okay. Are you okay? Is it okay if I ask you a few other questions? Sure. You know, well, are you getting all the results that you want? Not yet, but we're getting there. Okay. Do you expect to get all the? Do you expect to feel the way, you know, like, you can go back and look what I said, to get, you know, are they ask? Did they ask you about this? You know, about do they know that you want to have, you know, like, you're afraid of not being able to play with your kids when you have kids? No, we never talked about that. Do they know about these things and your goals of doing this? No. Okay. All right. Do you feel confident that you'll be able to get there where you are? Yes. Okay. Great. Is it, Mr. Jones, is it okay if I check in? Yeah. How much longer did they recommend for PT? You know, 4 more weeks and 3 times a week. Okay, Mr. Is it okay if I check in with you in 4 weeks and just make sure that you're better at that time? Sure. I mean, I don't know why someone would say no to you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. 4 weeks go back, Mr. Jones. You know, remember a month ago you told me your therapy would be over right now. How are you doing? Are you fully back to this? Are you fully confident? Are you 100% confident that you'll be able to do this? People would be lying if they all said yes. Because I know that's not the case. And there are some people, just getting off the couch and going and riding a bike is all they need. Our people expect more than being able to do that thing. So, you know, if they're there and they're getting at what they expect, then you don't even follow up with them every week. Hey, so when do you expect, like, when did they tell you, like, how much longer are you going to be in PT? What did they recommend? If they don't know or whatever, it's like, okay, well, if they know, it's like, yeah, they said 6 weeks. Okay, let me call you back in 6. Is it okay if I call you in 6 weeks and just make sure everything's going as planned? Because then all that is service. And then next time, maybe they'll choose us. Or 6 months from now, when they're no better, or they're not as, you know, they'll remember, like, we were the ones that
or
called. Right, or a friend. But no one else is going to
go above.
Here's where, yes, go above a minute. This is where your job is pivotal, and Tyler following up with people is pivotal, is that no one else is going to follow up with them the way that we follow up. Paul says the fortune's in the follow-up. Everyone says the fortune. The fortune is in the follow-up. Even if they're not our patient right now, they will be. Unless they tell us, stop calling me. You know, even if you just leave them a 30-second message, hey, Mrs. Jones, this is Amber. Just calling to let you know we're thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear back from you and know how you're doing. Because last time we spoke, you were in a lot of pain and unable to do X, Y, and Z. I'd just love to know if you've got that back yet. Because we care about you.
Right.
We care about
I can
you.
say that and it's not weird.
Yeah. We care about you. Basically, we want to show them we care about them more than anyone else.
Yeah. Because we do.
Right? Because we do.
I've never had anyone else call me back and follow up from an appointment.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
So here's the deal: is I could go through and tell you every single one of these persons why without going and looking at my notes. So.
Right. So
I wouldn't say that I'm not finding them, but I think where I'm struggling is asking the right questions to get them to see why that's important to them. I think the reason that these people are falling off is not that I can't find it, is that I can't show them that that's as important to them as what brought them in the door to me.
Here's the problem. You're good, you're confident, you recognize you're now starting to recognize when you read the note, someone walks in exactly where the problem is. Okay? You're starting to recognize patterns, and it's like, I know I can help you. It's like, I got to a point where it's like, I knew I could help people, but what I didn't realize was how important it was. Like, I wasn't getting buy-in. People were telling me it's too expensive, and it was $95 or $110. It's too expensive. Right? Okay? Because I know without taking you through. I don't need to use the SFMA. I don't need to talk to you. All I need to do is get you. I've treated so many people. I just need to get you on a table, move you around a little bit. I know exactly where the problem is. If you say my hip hurts, touch 3 or 4 places, I'll find the spot. I can get you better. Like, I don't need the questions, the physical exam. It's all to prove to the patient we know where the problem is. Because they're not going to believe. If I look at them, unless one of their friends says, Dr. LeBauer is magic, you've got to go see him. They get just do whatever you want. Mary, Joey says that you're magic. I'm here because they trust someone who, I mean, they're already like with Joey, especially when he was referring people to us, it was like they're Joey's client. They're Joey's forever, and because he's done such a great job at coaching them, it's like, you need to go see Aaron. All right. I mean, it's like whatever it costs. 1 or 2 people would be like, oh, it's too expensive. Oh, I didn't ask the right equipment. I wasn't asking the right questions at the time. But it's taking them through the physical exam, touching where it hurts, asking them and finding, like, getting them to acknowledge what the real motivator is to us is as important for the buy-in and the sale as anything else, is fixing them. That's why it's the whole first visit or first couple of visits is all about buy-in. It's not even about treating patients. But remember, unless they pay, they don't pay attention. So look, part of the reason we say 8 visits is because you're going to pay for the first visit. We're not going to treat much in the first visit. It's like 6 visits. And then there's a 7th visit, like 1 month follow-up, but they're paying for the first visit. Mm-hmm. So what? They're getting the result they want. Yeah. I think what's happening is this summer you were probably asking more. There's 2 things that I think. It's either we've more people in now because Amber's offering this to more people. Okay, so our percentage is going to be lower, but the number of people we convert is probably about the same. The number of people staying for evals. Look, I mean, we had a record month in August. Mm-hmm. It's back to school month. January is back to, commitment month, fitness month. Right. I mean, it's not like you're seeing 12 people a week. Yeah. It's like 21 people, 21 treatments, 5 evals and 5 TVDs the last week or the week before. I mean, that's dope. Like, that's really great. I'd love it to be 30 treatments and 5 and 5, but I'm not actually working on that. I've got to work on that. I'm trying to find someone to hire someone so then let me go work on that. It's like, and I'm working on some other stuff. So part of it is, I think to get back to you, is that I think you're seeing, okay, I know, you know what it is. So remember, the questions aren't for you, the questions are for them. So we got to get them in touch. It's our job. And a lot of times I would come into people and say, why are you really here? And they don't really know. And so I just get frustrated with it's my job, it's our job to help them get in touch with themselves, with their body, with what's important. I just want the pain to go away. Okay. Well, what's the pain keeping you from doing? Nothing. I do everything. All right, Mrs. Jones. Well, if you do nothing about this, what are you afraid of missing out on if you don't do anything? Or what are you afraid of happening if the pain continues? So it may not be what it's keeping them from doing, it's what they're afraid it's going to turn into. Mm-hmm. So we got to find out, where is that thing? Okay, we find it, and then we have to dig. What's a good analogy? It's like, it's not good enough to just pop the pimple. We got to get all that other stuff out of there, irritate the shit out of it, and then we can put a Band-Aid on it. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. We gotta press gently, and then if they start moving away, well, we press a little harder. We don't want to push, but we gotta. So let's see. Had surgery on another issue and ghosted. So we got down to here. Had surgery on another issue.
She was our patient. I was fairly confident was gonna do it.
She was a referral too from a current patient.
Called in, yeah, she was pretty teed up.
Yeah.
She called in, and we talked about this when I saw her, but she was like, "Hey, turns out that my surgery is gonna be a little quicker than I thought it was, so I just want to put it off until after that surgery because I don't know what they're gonna tell me I can and can't do." I was like, "Well,
What kind
hey."
of surgery?
She had like something in her uterus.
Okay. Okay.
Like a cyst or something. It was just supposed to be like a removal.
And I was like, well, you know, that's not gonna kill us because she was kind of.
Was she coming in for a hip issue? Or?
No, she had pain everywhere. But
She had like a widespread pain thing that was probably going to be a hormonal something from the ovarian cyst.
I think I found mechanical issues and even like did a little bit of work just to show her, and it made it feel better. So maybe some of it, but not all of it. Anyways, I thought she was going to be fairly salvageable and stay in contact and just nothing.
Like follow-ups, like
I've called her several times and she'll put me through a voicemail and I'll leave something and I'll never get anything back.
Okay.
That's happened more